Hello there, you're looking at what tends to be one of the best boxes in the Nerd Block family. This is Horror Block for February 2016, received in the UK just after the end of the month, but pretty fast delivery as normal from this one. As you can see, it's a very well put together and produced packaging here with the horror symbol. Quite a heavy box as well there. And as always, I'm managing to avert my gaze from the customs information that rather gives the game away. I've just cut through, so let's take a look inside. Don't open, dead inside. Now, I was about to say I haven't seen any spoilers for this box. I'm sure I probably have, but there's nothing that immediately springs to mind. These boxes aren't normally particularly themed, apart from the general theme of horror, and they tend to be pretty good as well. So let's hope that this box continues the trend. And we've got the T-shirt at the top, very well positioned, so we can look inside and see some kind of face there, or perhaps some kind of, well, I'm thinking maybe skull-like, but that looks very unusual. Perhaps that's because this is sideways on, because of how it's been packaged in the box. Let's just move that over. Yeah, that's certainly a skull with an arrow. It looks like the end of an arrow through the top, possibly extended skull. I'm sure there's an obvious reference to somebody. I don't immediately get that one, but we'll look in the information brochure to see in a minute. It's not my favourite design immediately because I'm not really much of a skull person, but it is well produced as always. It's made by this Shirt Punch company that does a lot of the work for Nerd Block. And then, interestingly, where this is packaged, you can see most of the items straight away. But let's start off with what is, well, an unusual item to have. It's a egg cup, spoon, and toast cutter. Interesting how there's lots of sort of common household items making their way into these boxes, but they've been made into these horror-type molds. This is the Zombie Egg Apocalypse. I'm going to guess it will probably end up being an exclusive item. Well, maybe not. It's got a Noki symbol on the side. So, what do? We've got the toast and bread, etc. Lots of details here. And it's actually one from Paladin, a British one. So perhaps Noki then must be a sub-company, but trademark is the wording used. So what have we got? We've got this nice egg cup. Actually, it looks quite good. Don't have many egg cups that will come in useful. There must be a spoon somewhere associated, or more of a shovel type thing. I think you might just be able to see. There's a bit of reflection here. And the toast cutter. I think you put your bread in there if you've got a unsliced loaf, which is something that I would very rarely have, and cut it. I'd very rarely have it because it's a bit of a pain to cut those items, but maybe now I've got Horror Block, maybe I've now got the Zombie Egg Apocalypse, egg cup, spoon and toast cutter. That'll be possible. Right, let's go back into the box. Let's look at this one. Zombie Finger Wine Stopper. So straight away, again, we're going to the household type items. So this is going to be, I presume, like one of those things you put it on the top of a bottle of wine when you've half drunk it and close it up. A very different design. Actually, it's quite an interesting type of item there. I must say that in my experience, wine doesn't necessarily stay around long enough that it will go off, but there you go. Could be useful. It is exclusive as well. So, yeah, very interesting. Moved away from the sort of franchise items, the popular horror films, horror TV series, to this different design. And I noticed that last month in Horror Block as well. Here's the fourth item. Again, it's something to do with bottles. Clearly a bottle of wine or beer on there. RIP, what do we get? A zombie bottle opener. Okay, so that goes along with the bottle stopper. It's actually a very big box for what I think of as bottle openers, but something useful. How easy is it to get inside? Not too bad, this one. Is there any indication there? Horror Block logos. This one again is going to be an exclusive, so doing very well for exclusives. Can we easily tip this out? Nerd Block ink on the bottom, so okay, it's actually a very heavy item, probably plastic, but slightly vinyl feel to it, really. So that, and presumably that hook there, you may just be able to see in this mouth of the zombie, it may be enough to open it. So, well, certainly different, something you wouldn't get very easily, so can't really complain about that one. That's the RIP bottle opener, or the zombie bottle opener. Next, just hiding away at the corner of the box, we've got these playing cards. The chopping block, we had some playing cards in Arcade Block about 2 months ago, maybe. Standard playing cards. Can't see what they look like because of how they're sealed. They're an exclusive item, and for me, playing cards are always useful to have around. Don't take up much space. Happy to have them in packs. The only thing is, I think the comment on the previous ones, they seem slightly smaller than regular size. Can't quite tell without another packet of playing cards in my hand to compare them against, but okay, another good item. That's 3 exclusives, 4 exclusive with the t-shirt. And finally, an item which is always a bonus to me is this Rue Morgue magazine. I think this is potentially every other month now. And there's different versions. This is quite an expensive item, $10 US, Canadian dollars, and it's always interesting to read through some good articles about horror. So there we go, just a flick through you might be able to make out. But I find this quite a valuable item to add to the box. There. Right, let's look at the information inside. So first of all, next month will be an item for fans of The Ring, and 4 exclusive horror items. I'm going to guess they'll be like exclusives this time. There. But what does the information card say? So the main item is the zombie egg cup. And you can make out a bit more on that picture about the little spade, which is the spoon. And presumably that's somehow how you cut your bread through that device. Not immediately obvious how your bread slots in and cuts through there, but I'm sure somebody can work that out there. I think in the box it looks more like the longer slots, but maybe not. Yeah, can't make it out from the information card. Be something to figure out afterwards. Let's look at the back. The exclusive Wings and Skull t-shirt. So this is Daryl, presumably Walking Dead. I can't immediately place a reference to that one, but it's probably something really obvious. The chopping block playing cards. So you can see a bit of the design. They don't look particularly horror themed from that picture, but who knows? There's the playing cards just there. The exclusive zombie bottle opener. I do quite like this one, so there's a bottle opener. Yes, it would be a talking part at the party. The exclusive severed finger wine stopper. Yeah, there it is. Again, interesting enough to go with that. And finally, Rue Morgue number 164. So that's the 6th and final item there. Will be worth a read. So, a pretty decent box, as best I can tell. Really interesting how there's no longer any items related to horror franchises. Are very much a change. Very different to Sci-Fi Block, and very different to how Horror Block used to be. Certainly no qualms about buying this one. It's a block I will pick up every so often. Thanks for watching this. The full review will be up at geeksubscriptionbox.com. This has been Horror Block 2016 unboxed by geeksubscriptionbox.com.